Alright, having another 1v1 pro matchup here. Over here in green we have Orcus, who is also known as Chris, one of the debated best players of AoE of all time. And over here we have Jordan23, another great player who can be debated as one of the better players of all time. Alright, so it's been pretty obvious recently that I haven't put a video out today, and that's because I've actually had YouTube basically screwing up the videos once I put them up. Whether or not it was a rendering problem or what, I don't know. So I've decided I'm just going to try and redo all the videos as much as possible, as quick as possible, and hopefully upload them all tonight. Alright, so I'll put this up and we'll watch what's going on here. Alright, so both players are playing as Huns, so that means no houses need to come up, but they've only started with 100 wood. I'll turn the fog of war and we'll come down here and see what's going on. So we've got sheep scouting going on, collecting more sheep with this scout here, putting a lumber camp there up after starting one of these straggler trees, and just continuing to gather food as usual. As you can see, gold mine over here, berries here, and can't really see any stone at this point in time. At least not a nice place. There we go, over here. So it's quite exposed over there. This area here though is actually quite nice. It's not too far away from the town centre. Everything's pretty hunky-dory really. Over here that gold's probably a bit too far away from my taste. And these berries over here are definitely a long way away from the town centre when you look at it. It's not a nice area, but it is not impossible to wall off. If you look at it there, you could probably wall off across there best, wall off across there, and wall off over here would be quite hard, however. So it is quite an open position, but definitely possible. As you can see, second ball coming in there. Over to Orcus over here. Another position, still quite open, this side over here being extremely open over here. Second ball coming in there, so he's got both his balls there already, so that means he's already ahead. And starting to mine gold, which either means he's going to go straight for... Sorry, he's either going to go straight for castle or go straight in for militia and try a D-rush. And this barracks coming up here, I think that's going to be a D-rush. And there we go, here's the militia coming out now. Alright, so more villages being created here, just pumping them out up to 22 population. Going for the fast castle, so he might not go for any more, might stay at it, but he's doing a D-rush, so generally that means more villages will be created. Over here with Jordan, same deal. More and more militia being created over here, which means more and more villages to get that food count up. As we can see, he's starting to save up now, looking like he's going to go to feudal. And as soon as he gets that, yep, and there we go, he's going feudal. Orcus over here, already going to feudal, so he is ahead tech-wise. Alright, so we'll watch this quick assault down here and see how this works out. Got his scout down here and his 3 militia, which are ready to join him. However, he has scouted this barracks and seen that there are men inside it. And we'll scout up around here. I'll turn fog of war off so we can see what's going on. Scout over here. Hasn't scouted this militia yet. However, there are 3 militia inside this barracks here, so he can defend himself if need be. And over here you can see just patrolling this area here and seeing those 3 militia there come past. 4, sorry. 4 militia there come past. Both players have hit feudal age, and as we can see, the scout is here scouting. Now it has its attack bonus, so it will be able to take on villages. There's militia coming down the side here, and should be able to win this fight over here quite easily. And going to men-at-arms there, so this fight is definitely in the bag, and these villages will take a lot of damage. Of course, men-at-arms being one of the stronger units for the feudal age, but however, it is one of the slowest as well. Over here, going very heavy on gold, and as you can see, starting to do a wall off there. On this side here, wall off coming across there, and starting there with that barracks, I guess. And continuing the fight over here, we'll have a look at the economy. He's getting lots on wood there, 2 lumber camps, lots on food, and only a few on gold. So he isn't going to go into completely gold heavy units, as we can see. He will stay with these trash units mostly. However, he is creating a few archers. Down over here, however, very heavy on gold, so we'll be going for mostly archers, I would say. Maybe a few men-at-arms. No, all archers there, which is a good choice for this point in the game, because they can take out villages really quickly. Watchtower coming up here, and trying to complete this wall over here, but if this villager stays here too long, it looks like he will be killed. Skirmishers coming up this side here, of course, being very good against archers. Down over here, more farms coming up as you are starting to run out of berries. As you can see, not much left on any of them. Over this side here, still pushing up this side here, attacking that scout with the villager there. Villagers, of course, being very, very strong at this point in the game. However, not using them to gather resources is always a loss. Down this side over here, another archery range coming up, so that makes 3, and this tower over here. So as we can see, just advancing into the base here, doing as much damage as possible. And continuing to fight over here, and moving back in again. As we can see on the side here, doing as much economical damage as possible. Units just streaming across the map there from Jordan 23. Of course, Jordan 23 is up by about 200 points, however he doesn't look like he's going to be advancing. Sorry, he's looking like he's starting to save up to advance, sorry. Oricus, on the other hand, is just trying to defend himself at this point. He doesn't really think about defending at all. On this side of the map over here, we still don't have too much going on. Just more and more over here. And as we can see on this side over here, heaps and heaps of gold coming in there. So that means archers. Lots and lots and lots of archers, as you can see over here. As I said, archers being primarily used to take out villagers, but at this point in the game they can also be used to combat spearmen, which were another very useful trash unit at this stage. As you can see, farms starting to expire there. And over here, more and more lumber coming in. Speed it back up again. As you see, this tower over here trying to do a bit of damage, however, still managing to take out one villager there. Nearly two. And this one here, if that's noticed, he will probably go down. And we can see skirmishes there. Orcus has noticed that he is using purely archers, so therefore he is going purely skirmishers. Nothing wrong with countering your opponent's moves. As we can see, this army over here just being pushed back towards his base. And as we can see there, a bit of micro going on. Killing off this army really quickly. As we see down here, bringing more and more archers down, and scout cavalry to counter the skirmishes there. As you can see, lots of stables coming up there. And down over here, continuing to fight all this. As you can see, Jordan is making it into Orcus's base quite well. As you can see, he's right in there now, and not much really to keep him defended apart from these skirmishes here, which will be taken out fairly quickly by this scout cavalry. We'll swap you over to Jordan now and check his population. So he's at 64 population, has lots of gold there, as you can see, and at this point in the game we are 23 minutes in. So pushing up there and seeing these units here, he should do a bit of micro here and try and kill off a few of these guys. That's one of them there gone, and this scout cavalry here, of course, being very useful to fend off these skirmishes. Of course, getting in close, skirmishers are like onagers, they can't attack if you're within a certain range. So if you can, you're always closing in there. As we see, units just streaming across the map here from Jordan 23, right in the base here, and doing lots and lots of economical damage there. At this point, really Orcus will be able to start to feel the pressure. There's not much he can do at this point. We'll see what he's got in that barracks there. Orcus there gathering spearmen, but with these archers here should be totally ineffective. As we can see, just walking across here and getting all these villagers out of the line of fire, really. Jordan 23 going very heavy into cavalry now. As we can see, getting his armor upgrades there, and getting a bit too close to that town centre by the looks of it. However, these scout cavalry will do lots and lots and lots of damage to these guys over here. At this point, Jordan is 600 points in front, so at this point, considering it's a 1v1, it's looking like that's about as far as it's going to get. Spearman over here still being created, still creating lots of archers, and that's good game there from Orcus. He just cannot continue fighting on that. He was at 49 population, while Jordan 23, and it won't change, so that wasn't good. So he was on at least 64, which we saw that before. Alright guys, thanks for watching, remember to subscribe, and as I said, sorry the videos are up so late, but I had problems with YouTube. Alright, thanks.